Hello and welcome to the Beat Brings Us Together podcast, Series 2, the show that brings the very best in DJs, producers and people working in the industry to discuss their journey and see how they're getting on.
This week on the podcast, I'm joined by Nikki Tesla, part of the brilliant Selextorhood collective. She has her own monthly show on Brum Radio, and an all-up fantastic DJ who supplied the first Beat Brings Us Together party with the finest of tunes. And I've got to give a special mention to all of those of you who attended our first Beat Brings Us Together party at Cafe Artem last week. You all made it such an amazing evening, and it was the perfect vibes for a Friday night. And something may be on the horizon soon in the next couple of months. So look out for that one.
Hello and welcome back to the Beat Brings Us Together podcast. This week we have Nikki Tesla. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
I've been trying to get you on here for a while actually. We're just trying to work out dates and responses. I think I had my Facebook hacked at one point, so I think I lost my messages with you.
You were hacked.
I was hacked. I'm sorry you didn't know this because
No.
I couldn't get in touch with you.
I just don't reply to messages very often, so I thought it was me making it take ages.
No,
So it's both of us. That's
no, it's
fine.
just both of us. That's
We're here now.
absolutely
We
fine.
made it.
We're here now. Yeah. Oh, absolute wizard on the decks. I've got to see you a couple of times. I think the last one was at Voyage.
Dead Wax.
Dead Wax, yeah.
Yeah.
Dead Wax at Voyage. I think you were in the middle of a move or something at that time.
I'm still in the middle of a move. I'm
oh well.
living back with my parents temporarily as well, which is weird. But
man.
but yeah, still stressed. But yeah, that was a good party.
But it was a good party. Wicked
Yeah.
set as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and if for anyone who knows, Nikki will have, when this goes out, actually, Nikki will have played at our show at Cafe Artem, which I'm going to say was really good, even though it
Thanks.
hasn't happened yet when we recorded it.
Yeah, I'll try not to mess it up.
No, it'll be wicked. It'll be wicked. Yeah, thank you for coming on the show. It's
Thank
really
you
cool.
very much.
Well, we'll get into the questions, I think. 'Cause, I'm
20
intrigued.
questions.
20 questions,
I'm
yeah.
scared.
I've only met you a couple of times as well, so it's great. It's like I'm going to get to learn so much more about
Yeah, it's
you
a
now.
proper get to know you session. I like it.
Yeah. We're breaking the ice with we've got almonds, cashews, bananas,
So healthy.
so healthy, and a branded drink, but we won't say.
Are we not allowed to rep brands?
I don't know, actually maybe we could. I don't know.
Can.
Yeah, we could.
Will they mind? KFC won't mind. Yeah, I had a
KFC
really unhealthy KFC on the way, and now I'm trying to level it out with a banana and some almonds to make myself feel a bit better.
Well, no, in fairness, yeah, you said you had a vegan burger.
Yeah,
That's
it was
not
a
too bad.
vegan KFC.
Yeah, vegan
Still
KFC.
not particularly the most ethical place to buy your dinner, but
Yeah, I guess not.
I was in a rush.
Whatever.
it's fine.
It's all
Sorry, music.
good. Music. Eating's a big part of this podcast. Yeah, okay, let's dive into it then. So, what do you think your first experiences of music was? Can you remember how far back and when it started, when you first got inspired by music?
So I was always like that kid at school that would just hang out in the music room. Like I remember I used to play clarinet when I was in like proper infants. I think I started when I was in year 1 playing clarinet, and then my front teeth fell out, so I had to stop for a bit. So I remember doing
No
that.
way. Does that really
So-
affect it then?
Yeah, you can't, because you have to bite down on the clarinet.
Do you?
So yeah,
I've played trumpet, so it's completely different.
yeah, it's different because it's like reeded on the bottom, and then you have to bite down
wow.
on the top, and then lips
Okay.
on the bottom. So yeah, my teeth fell out anyway. So then I played clarinet all through school, and I used to do a lot of singing as well. So that's how kind of I used to do like music theatre singing, like choral singing and
Oh,
stuff
that's so cool.
through school. So yeah, very different to where I've ended up now. But yeah, that's kind of how I started.
Yeah. So do you carry on with the clarinet or any other instruments now?
No, so I don't do clarinet. So, it's really bad actually. I gave up on all of that stuff. I did it all through kind of secondary school. I had like a music exhibition for secondary school, so I got like free music lessons and stuff. I came to uni and I had a music scholarship when I came to uni
No
for
way.
like singing and clarinet. Yeah, I taught myself to play flute, like a bit of saxophone, piano, guitar, not very well at all, but just so that I could kind of sing along to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, then that all kind of like, I just lost interest a bit. Not so much in singing, like I still enjoy singing with my best mate Minnie.
Okay.
We get out
Shout out to Minnie then.
Yeah, especially when we're drunk, we get the guitar out and sing, but not like I used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of how I got into music and stuff. And then when I came to uni, I got more interested in electronic music and kind of going out
Okay.
and especially, yeah, I went to uni in Birmingham anyway.
Oh, which uni was it?
I went to UOB. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I did. I did politics first. No, I didn't. I did mathematical economics and statistics first. hated it, dropped out, went into politics. But yeah, so I was at uni for like kind of over 5 years.
Whoa,
in the end.
yeah.
So yeah, I just spent ages going out, listening to music, kind of getting involved in it that way.
Yeah, I guess that's the scene's there for you when you're a student to go and explore those like raves and everything like that. Was it specifically electronic music, the events that you were going to, or you going to sort of a mixture of all sorts?
I go to like gigs and stuff as well sometimes. Yeah. Like there's so many good gigs on the Hare and Hounds, Sunflower Lounge, stuff like indie bands and stuff like that, which I still enjoy. But yeah, I don't think I realised when I was a student how much free time you get to kind of go out and actually do things that you enjoy and to mix with your friends, and kind of that's how we used to socialise at uni, just like have each other around and mix some records and stuff. So I miss that a lot now I'm working. Yeah.
Okay. So you were already mixing. When did you start mixing then? Were you just doing this with friends? Or how did you get into it?
I started collecting records when I was like back in first year.
Yeah. What got you into it?
I liked the music. I just enjoyed listening to it.
Cool.
And I don't know, I think rather than just downloading music online and having it kind of on the computer and losing it, because I'm not very good with filing stuff and I lose things so often. I kind of like just having the music there and being able to kind of pull it out and listen to it. And then two of my friends got like 40 quid together and got the worst decks I've ever seen. They were like just horrendous. I think they were Newmark belt-driven turntables.
I was just about to ask, was it the Newmark ones?
Of course, the worst ones that you can imagine. Like one of them was so much faster than the other. You'd literally put the tiniest bit of pressure on the plate and it would stop. Like they had no torque or anything.
Amazing.
But I learned to mix on those, and I think that actually really, really helped me later on, because once, I don't know if anyone's ever mixed on turntables quite that terrible, but as soon as you go on to Technics in a club or something, you're like, oh, everything's so easy. So it's like, it's quite a good way to learn, I think.
Yeah.
Throw yourself in the deep end.
I was going to say, don't not get in cheap gear, because when I started, I didn't start with vinyls. I started with CDs and had a Newmark
old
like
school.
all-in-one. Yes, CDs, I know. And they didn't have a platter. It just had like an open top-loading CD player.
No way.
Put the CD in, close the platter, and you had a pitch bend. You still had like the tempo slider, but you had to pitch bend it to knock it into time, like you're using a platter.
So now you go on like proper nice club CDJs.
It's nothing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, there you go.
Exactly.
It's not using vinyl to that as well. Like when you mix some vinyl, you go on a CDJ, like, wow, I was overthinking this so much.
See, I always thought that, but then because I've never had my own CDJs. I've never really I've never owned a controller as well.
Yeah.
So then when I started playing gigs out and there'd be CDJs there, I was terrified of them because there's so many buttons and just so much you can do with them. And even until kind of now, I still don't use all of the functions on CDJs. Like I've only just started looping because I'm just so scared of when I'm out, because I don't get to practice on them, pressing a button and doing it wrong. And I've definitely done that before, like either pressing play on the wrong one, because it's not so obvious. If you can see it spinning in front of you, you kind of you can get a bit more of a feel for it, whereas I kind of struggle to get as much of a feel for it on CDJs as I do with records. But I can't afford to keep buying records, so I'm kind of stuck with it.
I've seen some wicked stuff come out that was like, it has the spinning platter, but it's a CDJ.
Oh.
But it acts like, I'm pretty sure.
So
I tried to make out like a conference.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there used to be some really old like Technic decks that did it, but with CDs. That worked kind of like it, but now I think they actually have like a sort of CDJ with a vinyl platter.
I bet it's so expensive.
Yeah, probably. But it's
that's
so
the kind
cool.
of thing I can imagine them charging like $3,000 for or something.
Yeah. It's interesting you picked up on things about the CDJs, because they kind of have like so many options on there. I mean, you get ones that have even more, like some of the other brands, not Pioneer and stuff. And it's like, how would I use that? There's so much stuff on it. I can see the potential of like how you can expand your set when you really get into it. But
yeah. And I think I've always struggled with like all those bells and whistles. Like on CDJs is one thing as well. Like I've finally just about got loops working. But on mixers as well, all the extra effects you can get. Because I've just got kind of a like Allen Heath Zone 23 standard filters, and that's it. So I don't know how to use kind of echo and things. And I'm sure that they're not that difficult, but I I never get the chance to practice on them until I'm actually out, and then I don't want to be messing around with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would be quite nice to have a bit more gear, but it's just so expensive, isn't it?
I know. I think that sometimes that's down to style as well. I know you said maybe it's more of a case that you haven't got those effects to use.
Yeah.
But often I think like certain DJ style, it doesn't fit for them as much. And even like sometimes I used to use loops a lot, but I've been to so many places, and because the CDJs are so bad, like over time, like the music just stops because it just can't handle like the processing on the CDJ. I've done it before. You can kind of do an effect where you loop a section and you gradually get it smaller, and it's like going. You're like, oh, I'll just drop it in now. It's gonna be so good, and then it just cuts out.
Cuts out.
It happened before. I was absolutely good.
I've had it loads of times though, where I've tried to put on like a 4-beat or an 8-beat loop, and I just end up putting on the 1-beat loop, and then it just sounds so terrible, and you're standing there looking at yourself like, I just want to melt right now. I can't. Everyone's just looking at you. So no, I just try not to mess around with it too much. But yeah, you're right. I think there's something to be said for like quite kind of a simpler way of DJing. I think I feel like I see other people doing all these things, like loads of spin backs, loads of echo, dropping this, dropping that. And I feel like I need to do those things as well to be a better DJ, or be able to do them anyway. Whereas actually, I just need to maybe be a bit more confident in my own style and go, I don't really need to do all of those things.
Yeah.
I can just keep it a bit more simple and focus on kind of the tracks that I'm playing rather than all the crazy mixing that people do.
No, I think that's an interesting point though, because that's something I always think about, and I think especially in like music production, maybe the same thing. You hear an effect or a thing, you're like, oh, I need to do that, and then I don't know. After all, you like it's good to explore like options, but maybe that's kind of like you say, like have confidence in your own ability, and definitely the music creation is like the most important thing. Like the song choices are the most important.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. That's
not all the technical bits.
Yeah, and I think if you can kind of put a good set together, it doesn't matter whether you're using all of the features on the mixer or on the CDJ or like exactly how you're mixing it in. You can even be like a very kind of average beat matcher, but the tunes that you play can be so good, and the order that you play them in can carry your set anyway. And I think that's the most important thing, really. Like you spend maybe like 30 seconds to a minute of a song actually mixing it, whereas you spend like 5 to 7 minutes actually playing it. Yeah. So that's the majority of your set. So I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I can always like, I don't mind like a bad mix if like the tunes are great. It just doesn't bother me. Like, not myself. I mean, maybe I'd be stressing myself, but listening as an audience member, you're like, man, I don't care. It's an absolute wicked tune. I don't care. It's played the right tune at the right time. Like that's exactly what I think for me is like a DJ is there for.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah. So you're saying you got these new mic turntables. I went off a bit of tangent there, didn't we?
Did. Off piece.
Were you just learning in your bedroom?
Yeah, so they weren't mine, they were my friends. So just whenever I would go kind of round to theirs, we'd mix, especially like after nights out and stuff, we'd always just go back and mix records, which is quite fun. But then when I dropped out of uni first time and I was working, I finally had a bit more money.
Yeah.
So I bought, what did I get? I got like I don't know, just an Audio Technica turntable.
Cool.
So I had like one of those, and then one of those ones that like open like a suitcase.
Yes.
One of those.
Yeah.
But it had like a pitch fader on it.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of mixing with those for a little while, and then I finally upgraded the suitcase one to a Technics.
Sick.
So yeah, and that's still my setup now. I've just got one Audio Technica, which isn't very good. It's not a very nice one, but again, I think it's like I was saying earlier, it's kind of nice to practice on a setup that's not quite right, because then it does feel easier when you're out, especially when you're a bit more stressed and you're out. It's nice that things feel like they're working a bit better and they're a bit simpler. So
do you play on CDJs as well?
Yeah, when I'm out. I've been borrowing my mate's CDJs for the past couple of months, and no, I really, really want to buy some because I've got used to having them. But he's just come back and he wants them back now, which is fair enough. And I think I'm going to have to get some. You can get them on finance, can't you? I think.
Yeah.
I might have to do that.
Yeah.
They're a big investment, but.
What were you playing on?
What was that?
What type of CDJs were they? Sorry.
They were the you know, the XDJs.
Yeah.
Like, so with no
yeah.
CD, because I never use CDs anyway, so there's no point having them.
I don't know the last time I used a CD.
Exactly. So the XDJ 700s, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're brilliant.
And they're great. They've got the touch screen, so you can kind of just mess around easy.
Yeah.
I've put that since then is I've got a bit more confident with loops and stuff now, so I can do that out.
Yeah.
But it's just practice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just practice. Do
But-
you ever, I mean, have you practiced at Pirate?
I've come here a couple of times. It's
Yeah.
expensive though, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Oh,
not expensive for what it is,
Yeah.
but obviously if you want to come like once a week or something to practice,
Then I guess
you may
so.
as well
Yeah.
pay for finance on CDJs and have it that way.
Yeah, it balances out, doesn't it? I think I like it for the loud music part. You can just like really crank it up.
Oh, I was in here the other day and I left. I wasn't wearing my earplugs and I left and my ears are ringing.
Such a small room as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You
You
probably
don't
get some
think
really
about
good
it.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not the best idea.
That's a good question. Do you use earplugs?
So I use earplugs when I go to nights and when I'm out listening to music.
Yeah.
But I can't DJ in them, and it's really annoying. I find it really, really weird. Like I just feel like I can't hear the music properly, and I don't know if it's because I don't have very good earplugs.
Okay.
Because you can get the ones that mold to your ears.
Yeah.
And I think I need to invest in those because I've just got kind of like £20 earplugs. Because I lose them all the time. I think I'm on my 6th or 7th pair of earplugs now, and if you buy the molded ones and you go through 6 or 7, you're looking hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just have the cheaper ones, but they really kind of distort the highs. You can't hear, and I kind of like mixing off the highs of and hi-hats. So I really struggle to mix with them in.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I was going to say, okay.
But that is so annoying because I hate. Sometimes you have to turn up the monitor so loud, especially if the system's not set up very well. Yeah. And I just end up with a headache or with my ears ringing again, and I know it's not good for you.
I think because most of the time the DJ side is way louder.
People turn up the monitors so loud, and sometimes you have to because you just can't.
Yeah.
You can't hear anything. But if you think you've got 2 massive speakers, like a meter either side of your head, and you're just standing in the middle of them for like 2-3 hours, it's so bad for you.
Yeah.
And I think it's so easy to forget. And sometimes you come onto decks and you put the headphones on, and the DJ before you has had the headphones so loud that I can like barely put them on my head, and I'm thinking, what are people doing to their hearing in these places? But yeah, it's not. I think I need to work on that and maybe try out some better earplugs.
Yeah, I definitely recommend the molded ones.
Really? Do you have some?
Yeah, they're really good. It was just getting too much for me.
Yeah.
I take them everywhere, any night out. Any DJ set. Like if you're playing in a band or whatever, they're just perfect. Like because you can hear it's everything, just quieter.
Yeah, see, that's what I need. I need to just not like distort anything.
And you have to really kind of trust yourself as well. You got to like become. I think it's best to like practice with them in.
Yeah.
And then you get used to it. But I do sometimes have to like take one out. And like I don't know, is this in time? You know.
Yeah, because you just can't quite hear it properly.
Yeah.
It's just different, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I need to practice with them in.
I can't not wear them now though. It's so loud if I walk into any club or anything. I can't. I think it's kind of not repaired itself, but I haven't got used to it or something.
I've had that. I went to like the Hare and Hounds the other day, and I'd forgotten my earplugs, and I was just standing in the middle, like I can't be this close to the speakers. I need to go to the back because it was so loud. And I used to not wear them at all, so I don't know what's happened. Yeah, maybe you do get used to it.
Yeah, I remember when I was like 16, like coming from gigs and just ears like ringing like hell, and you just like couldn't hear in the next day. Just like the frequencies
sometimes
are gone.
like 24 hours and you still can't hear anything.
What, Mom? What? Yeah. God, we just go on these tangents. It's brilliant.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not very good at sticking to like.
No, it's brilliant. Like, this is so
subject.
good. Real like proper DJ talk. It's great. It's the most DJ like centric podcast we've had so far. It's wicked.
Earplugs, looping.
Yeah, it's great, man. Like I wasn't ready for this.
I just don't like talking about myself, so we'll just talk about everything else.
Just talk about everything else. Yeah. Well, obviously a brilliant DJ.
Thanks.
Well, you're like, don't talk about that. So how did you get into having a Brum radio show? Because I know you've been on guests on other radio shows as well. How did this come about?
So I'll go back a bit more actually. So I used to play out with my friend James. We just used to play student nights, like back when I first started learning to DJ.
In Brum?
Yeah, in Birmingham, like CD Sonics, kind of all of those. And I used to be absolutely terrified of playing out on my own. I would never want to do it. That's why I ended up playing with James, because I just always wanted to have someone there. And then I kind of stopped DJing for maybe like a couple years, really. I stopped DJing out. I still collected music and listened to music at home, but we just didn't play out. And then I got involved with Selextorhood, and I was like, right, I need to start doing something myself. And I just get so nervous before I do anything. Even I remember we had an open decks event at Cafe Artem. So it's not a big night. There were probably 2 people there. And I was sitting on the bus on the way, and I almost stayed on the bus to come back again because I was so nervous about playing. And I remember I was playing records and my hands were shaking, and I was just terrified. So I thought, what can I do to kind of practice, to get more confident, to get more used to kind of playing on different systems and talking, and kind of, just generally get my confidence up. And then radio was kind of something that I've always thought about, but thought was always kind of out of reach. Like it's not something that I would ever be able to do. And then, I just started, I got in touch with the guys at Brum Radio, and they said that they were looking for some electronic music shows because they don't really have that many. They're a really broad station. They have like talk shows, comedy shows. They do a lot of like indie music and stuff as well. So there's a bit of a mix, and they were so sound. They were just, they really loved the idea, and they gave me a slot every 4 weeks on a Saturday night, 9 to 11, which is mad. Like having a peak time slot as soon as I start radio as well. So that's kind of how I got into the Brum Radio show.
It's a great show as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I wanted to use it as a way to, like as a platform for kind of female producers, female non-binary trans producers, as much as I can. So I always keep the gender balance on the show, like 50-50 with the tunes that I play, which is quite nice because it just means that I have to try a bit harder to search for that music and put it together. But I like having guests on the show, bringing people to Birmingham. I feel like people still have quite a negative view of Birmingham a lot of the time.
In general, is it?
In general, yeah. I think, I don't know. We're and I get it. Sometimes we're a bit behind other cities, especially our music scene at the moment. It is just not quite maybe where kind of Leeds, Manchester, Bristol, London are. There's a lot going on, and it's getting there, and there's a lot of effort going into it, I think. But yeah, I wanted to kind of bring guests on the show and help to increase the kind of reach of it and get Birmingham out there a bit as well. So I try and play as much music from Birmingham producers as I can, Birmingham labels. Yeah, that's the idea really, and it's going all right. People seem to like it, which is nice because you just don't know, do you? Don't know. I still don't know how many people listen, but hopefully a few.
I know what you mean. It's great, the awareness aspect of it. It's so good. I think when we were having this discussion before we started recording about like arts and culture in Birmingham in general, it just doesn't get the limelight it deserves. There's so much great culture and art here. I know. I mean, I was sort of saying that I was like, I don't think the arts and culture scene maybe tries to shout out too much about itself in case certain people come and crush it. But I won't go too much into that. But it's just so great to have someone else putting out awareness like that for Birmingham artists. And even touch on gender there as well. Let's try balancing the gender in your show as well. That's cool.
I just think it's important that we do kind of do as much in Birmingham as we can and keep it, because a lot of people go outside of the city to do music stuff. Like, I mean, and with Selected as well, we have a show on Nudes, which is Bristol based.
Yep.
And a lot of people go to London and I don't know, do like Nettle or other radio stations, and that's great, but it's nice to try and keep it local if you can. I mean, I feel like everyone as well, as soon as you get a bit bigger in Birmingham, you just move to London or you move to Manchester, when actually it's nice to be able to be in Birmingham and be at the forefront of, I think Holly said this to me once, like be at the forefront of something instead of latching onto the back of something.
Yeah.
Like with my radio show, I actually don't think in any other city I would have been able to get into that so easily and so like early on in my kind of solo DJing. But because in Birmingham there's not so much of a big electronic music scene, it was not like easy, but it was easier to get into that, and it was easier for us to, well, for Holly and everyone to kind of start up Select Hood and for that to grow, because again, there's so many like female non-binary DJ collectives in other cities. They might have 3 or 4 in one city, whereas Birmingham didn't have any.
Yeah.
So you've just got that space in Birmingham, I think, to be at the front of something instead of latch on to the end.
Yeah, definitely. Because like you said, it's easier in a way. It's easier in terms of opportunity because there's no others doing it. So you've got the opportunity to be at the forefront, but it's harder because no one has done that before and no one really knows about things that you're doing. So you're starting from scratch. So it's hard in that way.
You have to like trailblaze in one way.
Yeah, that's the difficulty.
The space is already there in other places. It's interesting. It's up and down.
That's kind of like the podcast as well. Like, I want to do something myself. It's taken me a long time, I think, to learn those lessons like you're talking about here. But it's good. I think I'm happier because you're kind of doing the things you want to do, and you're not at the tail end of something where you're doing something someone else wants you to do all the time.
Exactly.
You're not really following a trend so much, but maybe it is that. I don't know. But yeah, you're just doing your own thing, and I find it makes me more confident because you're like, oh, I'm just doing it for me. Yeah,
definitely. And I think it's good because you do get a bit more traction that way because it's not so saturated in Birmingham, especially in the electronic music scene. With, I mean, I don't know, the music that I play especially, there's not that much of it. There's a lot in kind of Bristol and London especially, but not so much here. So there's more opportunities, and I think that's kind of nice. You can jump off that a bit and make the most of it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something I've noticed. It's kind of been since I think the Rainbow closed, I guess, that for me I've been able to the one positive. There's been many positive effects, but the one positive that sort of negates a bit of the negative, I think that loads of smaller brands with more like just more experimental and exploratory music have emerged, and now they're doing like they're thriving, and it's so cool because I've always been into like weirder stuff. But it's like, where's the outlet in Birmingham? I need to hear something.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like nights like Voyage, which like have transformed my mind in a lot of aspects of what I like in music. It's just great to have those sort of shows. So, or before I just go to London, like to see like Ross and Friends or something, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know if they sort of put these people on in Birmingham that much. But now they're on like the Hare and Hounds, you get a lot of cool artists there as well.
Yeah, I think it's difficult though because like from a promoting point of view as well.
Yeah.
Birmingham is a difficult city to put stuff on in. Like I remember we booked like Kink in Birmingham and we had maybe 200 people there. But if you book him in any other city, any other European city, let alone any British city, you're getting kind of 400, 500, 600 people easy through the door. And it was such a hard sell. Like Honey as well, you'd think that booking Honey, you'd get so many people through, and it's still difficult. And I don't know what it is about Birmingham, because we've got so many universities here, so many students, so that should be already quite a captive audience.
Yeah.
And then we've got what are we, like the youngest city in Europe or something?
Wow, I didn't know that. That's a great fact.
More than I can't remember the statistics. More than 50%.
Well, it's like Industrial Revolution emergence, really, isn't it? So it is quite young, I guess, in that respect.
And I remember them selling the Commonwealth on the fact that it was we're the youngest city in Europe, we're vibrant and all of that. But if we're the youngest city, why is everyone not so interested in music? Why is our electronic music scene especially still quite small? And I think it's just like you said, it takes quite a lot of different like experimental brands, nights, people doing different things to actually start up and stick with it for a little while and introduce people to these different sounds. But it does just take a long time. Yeah,
I think, like you say, I think it does need like a few different nights like to come up together, like things like Selextorhood as well, like things offering DJ opportunities, and it all helps to like build something up together, which is great. And I think we're seeing a good rise in everything right now.
Yeah, I think you just got to introduce people to it like as early as you can. Like at uni, I started this society, like it was Mix Sock, like a mixing society, which has now gone into like UAB Underground. So it's a whole underground music society, which is really great. And I think it's little things like that, and like Selextorhood as well, getting people interested in music, maybe providing a space for people to start out if they don't have the equipment. And I mean, I was quite lucky that my friends had bought some, they were crap, but they were decks, and I could use that, and I had a little bit of spare cash from my loan to buy some records and get started. But a lot of people don't have the spare money for it. So I think providing a space where actually you can go, you don't need to buy any equipment, you can just try it out, see if you like it, And then if you do, this is kind of where you can get cheaper things. This is like links to get some equipment for yourself. And yeah, I think that space is really important, and hopefully there'll be more things like that popping up in Birmingham.
Yeah, I hope so. And I guess like a general thing to people who listen to this podcast, if you're a female or non-binary on the gender spectrum, then get yourself to Selextorhood if you want to learn how to DJ. It's like, I can't say exactly what it's like because I've never been, but I'm sure Nikki can tell you that it's a great way to learn, and how she's just shone such a great light on it as well.
Yeah, because I think for me, I'd obviously I played out before with my friend, and then I took those couple years out from DJing, and I just lost confidence in it. The thought of having to do it myself and promote myself, and it was just too much. It was just quite overwhelming. So I kind of stepped back from it. And then I saw about Selextorhood through like Cafe Artem, through social media and stuff. And it's something that Holly started out. And I went to the first one, and they had Josie Mitsu in for like a talk and a bit of a workshop. And that was January last year, January 2019. And there were so many girls there. It was absolutely packed. Like there were probably like 30, 40 girls in Cafe Artem.
Which is all packed there, isn't it?
Yeah, all like interested in music, and not all had DJ'd before, not all had like mixed before, but just interested and wanted to be there and learn a bit more. And that was the first time I'd been around other girls who were really, really, really interested in kind of the music side of things as well. And I think now I've got a much bigger network of like female and non-binary friends, which is brilliant, who are like really into music.
Yeah.
But without that, it was all just very intimidating getting into it. So I think they've really provided me with a bit of a platform as well, and a bit more of confidence, like just having that little group behind you to go, actually, no, you are okay, like you can do it.
Yeah.
And also the opportunities that have come through Selextorhood as well. Obviously, we've done stuff with Left Foot, we've done a lot at Dead Wax, and they're probably gigs that I wouldn't have got myself, or I don't know, maybe I could have. I'm not very good at asking for sets and things. I find it all quite difficult. So yeah, I think going through that has really helped me to get like my name out there as well, which has been really, really positive.
Yeah, it's great being part of a group, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just nice as well. We don't just kind of DJ, like we have the workshops every last Wednesday of the month, which I tutor at a bit now, which is quite nice. But we don't just do that. Like we go out to nights together, and it's just so nice to have like a group of girls to go out with. Yeah. Because I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I've always previously I had a lot of guy mates who I would always go out with, and I think that's changed a lot now, which has been really just different. Like which has been nice.
I think the thing you're saying, like, it's such an intimidating industry anyway. Well, it can be, especially if you're doing it like if you're trying to get into it as a DJ. It's quite intimidating anyway. It's kind of weird when it is all dudes sometimes. That is kind of a weird thing. Yeah,
walking into a room and just like kind of you're one of the only girls there.
Yeah.
And like getting up on the decks in front of that, it can be quite intimidating. I don't know. And I don't think a lot of guys kind of say, well, I'm really supportive of women DJing, and I get that, and that is great, but it's still, especially if I go to a workshop or something and it's just me and loads of guys, I feel like quite scared and quite intimidated in that setting.
That's interesting.
So it's quite nice to be able to walk into Selextorhood and kind of feel like you're amongst people who understand how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And kind of feel the same as you, and you can just be on that level, and it gets just rid of like the bravado or trying to like prove yourself, and actually you can just kind of enjoy yourself, which is quite nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for not having a room full of dudes, because it's like, I think you picked exactly what I was trying to get into as bravado. I think sometimes, not always, but sometimes it just has such an element of bravado. You're like, guys, just chill out, man. Like, just chill out. Like, you need like a sense of balance in a room.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it's nice with Selextorhood to have that.
Yeah, it's cool. I've been to, I went to the Imogen talk last year, which was really cool as well.
Did you?
It's cool.
I was there.
I know, yeah.
Do you remember? I have such bad memory.
Yeah, we didn't meet.
Didn't we? Okay, that's good.
That's okay.
I keep reintroducing myself to people that I've already met.
Right.
It's really embarrassing. I need to stop doing that.
It's fine.
I did it at the Hare and Hounds sorry, I'm going off piste again. Did the Hare and Hounds on Saturday. I was like, oh, hi, I'm Nikki. What's your name? He was like, we've met twice. Yeah, okay.
Have a more recognisable face then.
Yeah, I'm so bad. But yeah, the Imogen talk, it was really good.
Really good, actually, yeah.
I was very hungover, so I can't really remember exactly what she said, but I remember thinking that it was really interesting because she talked about radio as well, didn't she? And like doing her radio show because she does NTS.
Yeah, I think I can't
was
remember.
it
now.
Radar? Yeah.
Radar? I don't know. I can't remember. It was a good talk though. It's great to see like just anyone talking about the industry is great.
Yeah, she's so young as well.
Yeah, that surprised me.
I think she's like 20.
She got into it 16.
Yeah,
Or something like that.
it's pretty impressive.
Which is like, wow, you switched on at that age, or maybe just into that stuff at that time. I don't know.
And she just had loads of tips, which I think has been really useful with Selected as well, to meet these DJs, to meet Imogen, to meet Rini, to meet Josie Mitsu, like all of these brilliant DJs, and just actually be able to talk one-on-one to them. And that's an opportunity that I wouldn't have really had before.
Yeah.
So to have that in Birmingham has been really positive.
Yeah.
And have like people to look up to. I think as well, I've started to follow as many, because I realised my Instagram feed was just full of like male DJs, which is fine and interesting, and like some of my favourite DJs are male DJs.
Yeah.
But it's been really good to follow as many like female non-binary DJs as I can, so that I can have that kind of that balance and those like female idols to look up to as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea for everyone, really. Yeah.
It's just good to have the split, I think.
Yeah. I think I did something, not very similar, it sounds stupid now, but I think I just followed loads of random stuff, and then I was like, I check this quite a lot, so if I'm not be able to kick the habit, like, let's just put something nice, and now I'll just follow loads of like dog pages, but
No way.
similar but different.
What's your favourite breed of dog?
A whippet.
A whippet.
Yeah.
So cute.
My partner's got a whippet called Ben.
Oh,
it's great.
Ben.
He's very princely.
Ben is such an adorable dog name. I love it when people call their dogs human names.
Well, I think kind of more like Benny boy. Oh, but, oh god, that's really embarrassing. I might cut that out.
Nah, please leave it.
Oh god, no. Okay, but yeah, what about you? Have you got a favourite breed of dog?
Well, we've always had German Shepherds.
Oh my god.
And we've got like a long-haired German Shepherd at the moment called Jake, is again a very human name.
Oh, I love it.
And he's just so fluffy and beautiful and big. So yeah, probably German Shepherds.
The next door neighbour has a white long-haired German Shepherd.
That's so great.
It's called Sundance. Oh my god, he's like a
amazing.
year old as well.
They're beautiful.
Oh, they woof at each other all the time.
Do they?
They love it. Just love woofing. Anyway, yeah. So, dog talk. You see, this is what it's like. I just want a feed of dogs. Yeah.
I can see why.
Yeah, this is why. But yeah, well, I'd like to know if you have a sort of method or how you go about curating your sets.
My radio shows or kind of sets when I'm when I play out.
Both.
I think with my radio shows, like I said, I try and keep it at least 50-50 with the gender balance for those.
Yeah.
To be a bit of a platform for kind of producers. I literally, I remember going through my library before I started, and I was really struggling to pick out any music that wasn't produced by men. And that's where it started, because I was like, that I did it completely unconsciously, but I just had so much music produced by men. So I thought I need to diversify a little bit, and set myself a challenge of doing a whole mix that was just female DJs. But when I was doing that, I kind of started to research more female DJs and got to know a few more names, and I really enjoyed doing it. I think I got a bit overwhelmed at the start with the amount of music out there, and I just didn't kind of know where to start when I was digging. But actually to cut it down a bit and go, okay, I'm just going to look for loads of music by like female, trans, non-binary producers. That was like a focus for me, and it became like a little bit of a project to look into. So yeah, that's kind of how I started doing that. I think I just try and I like to play a lot of new music, which is weird because a lot of my friends dig for old music. Like they go on Discogs all the time and they look for music that was kind of from the 90s or early 2000s. Whereas I'm very much, I like new releases. I like to see like what's just come out. But yeah, I don't know. I think with my radio shows, I was always so convinced they had to have like a flow, like I really had to plan them in advance and think where I was going with it. But more recently, I've realised that it's a radio show. You can just kind of play music that you like. It doesn't so much matter the order. It doesn't even so so much matter if you're always mixing the tunes as well. You can just play like one after the other. And I wanted it to be more like this is the new music that I found recently and what I'm listening to, rather than this is like a journey through, I don't know.
That's super interesting. I've tried to do some radio stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I always think trying to make it a journey, it's so difficult. And like, I guess like he's just saying it like doesn't need to be, does it?
Yeah, I think it's easy to put a lot of pressure on yourself when you're doing radio, because a lot of people treat radio shows as well, which I mean, it's completely up to you how anyone wants to do their radio show. It's like your hour or a couple of hours, but a lot of people treat it like a full-on music set, whereas actually I kind of like talking a bit more in my shows. I like chatting about the producers themselves, giving a bit more information about them, and I wanted it to be more about the producers and the tunes rather than me as a DJ putting a mix together. I think it's really important to have track lists as well. I kind of get why sometimes people want to kind of keep them to themselves, because like you want a bit of mystery and you don't always want to share tunes that you've spent ages finding. But for me, as someone who doesn't produce as well, I think it's really important that I give the producers like fair dues for the music that they have spent probably hundreds of hours making, and I just spent like 20 seconds downloading. I think it's really important I give them fair dues. So I'm really big on either track lists, or I always say the tracks in my shows and talk about them a bit.
Well, you're kind of like championing the music, aren't you? That's great.
Yeah, I think it's just, but yeah, sharing the music that I find. I don't find it just to listen to on my own. I didn't make it, so I may as well like share the names of it.
Yeah.
But I get why people want to keep track lists themselves, but for me, I think it's just I like to share it.
Yeah, but you know, before you said about like people listening to the show and stuff, I think it's so cool because I use it when I'm studying. Like I'll study and I'll just put like your show, who I listen to, like Trieste's, J Card, as I listen to a lot, just the Selextorhood podcast, like radio shows and stuff. It's just so good because rather than keep going through tunes, like you just got a whole show on, and like it's just great to listen to loads of new music as well, and you can just work, and it's just, I find that really enjoyable.
Yeah, I listen to so many radio shows. I'm glad you actually listened to mine. That's one person.
That's just cool.
Great.
Like, so I think there's a lot of people out there who listen to stuff, especially your shows and everyone else's as well.
Yeah, I think I used to listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff, and I still do, but I spend a lot of time in the car at the moment, and I just love putting on a radio show in the car and listening, because I was listening to so much Radio 1 just because it was like the default in my car, and it was just easy. Turn the car on, it's Radio 1, and I love a bit of pop music. Yeah, you can't beat a bit of Dua Lipa, but I was just going a bit crazy listening to it all the time. So now I really make an effort to put kind of radio shows I actually want to listen to on. And that's kind of most of the time that I get to listen to music now, because I can't really. It's really annoying. Like you said, you're good at listening when you're studying and stuff. When you're at uni, I can't work and listen to music. I get too gassed. I just get too excited.
Oh right,
and I can't concentrate. Yeah. The most I can listen to is like piano music. So that's a lot of my day when I would have listened to music that I can't, because I just can't concentrate. So yeah, I try and do like driving in the evenings, listening to radio shows.
Yeah. I think you picked on a great one there. It's like I think that's like the secret like rise of like podcasts and radio shows is like commuting, because commuting is like bigger than ever now, and all I hear is like people go, listen to your podcast or something in the car. I listen to like radio shows in the car, and it's kind of like the new thing. But anyway, that's a bit of a tangent as well.
It's a good way to find new music though, because like especially when I'm driving, I can't be looking up, like going through Spotify or whatever, or looking on YouTube and finding different tunes. So if I just put a mix on, and if I like some of the stuff, like I was listening to Air Max 97's mix this morning in the car, and I was so excited. And then afterwards I got to Asda, and I was scrolling through trying to find the track list somewhere to see if I'd find it, and it's just nice to kind of get excited about a mix and then go, okay, right, I'm going to look at like what these tunes were and kind of. And then you pick up on some of them, and you find maybe a producer that you hadn't heard of before, and then you go back through their back catalogue. And yeah, I think it's just kind of an exciting way to look for new music, rather than, and I love just going through Bandcamp. I love Bandcamp so much. It's the weird world of Bandcamp. You saw such weird stuff. It's great. There's some really strange things on there, but it's good. And I like going through Bandcamp, and I like like getting notifications when you get new releases and things, and I find that exciting. But yeah, I think at the moment my favourite thing is just listening to radio shows and getting gassed about music that way.
Yeah. So how do you go about creating a DJ set then? What's different for you in that respect?
So I've been thinking about this recently, like what do I think kind of when I'm putting sets together? And I think I spend a bit too much time, and it's something I'm trying to change. I spend too much time thinking about what people want to hear. So instead of like playing what I want to play, I try and like get in the mind of someone listening. What would you want to play? And then I become way too reactive. Like when I was at Voyage the other day for that free party, I remember I kind of got on and they'd been playing like really sick house, like Marie Davison, just amazing tunes that I really love. Everyone got really gassed listening to that. And then I came on and I started to play like a bit more garagey stuff, and the room cleared, absolutely cleared. And I remember I looked in the middle of this room and there was one girl there who was standing there stock still, looking at me, giving me evils. And I was like, oh no, what am I doing? Like everyone hates it. What am I playing? I need to play something else, change it up. But actually, and I even got my friend up on stage and I was like, what am I doing? Is it terrible? And I think actually I just needed to settle into it. And people go for a cigarette, people go and get a drink, and that's fine. And you need to have lulls in a set so that people have the chance to go out for a cig and things. But and after that, it really picked up. But I think I was really trying to play what I thought people wanted to hear.
Yeah.
So my plan from now on, and obviously it's been good, and I've got like good feedback for sets that I've played, but I don't always enjoy them because I spend so much time like overthinking it. So yeah, I want to play more what I like to hear, and hopefully that way I'll have a bit more of like a style that is personal to me rather than kind of spreading over everything. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of like you're looking at my mind and reading exactly what's in it. Like,
do you do this as well?
Like exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like exactly the same. Wow, that's so interesting. Like, because I've kind of done it in a way where I'm switched to a new alias in order to be able to do this, because I can't do it in my old one. I've done with like my actual name. That's now going to be like a disco thing.
Right.
So like, disco's disco. Like, I can't. You know, it is what it is. Audience knows what it is.
Yeah.
I know what disco is. It's kind of like cool. And then with the new thing, I'm trying to do that. Like, exactly what you're saying. Like, try and play what I want to play.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so hard.
Because I think in other DJs, I like it most when they don't give a shit and they play what they want to play. Yeah. And that's how you find new styles and new stuff that you like, because these DJs are playing different things and stuff that maybe people didn't know they liked yet. And I think that's how you become a better DJ and a really good DJ. You have to do new things. Whereas if you're being quite reactive and playing what you think the crowd want to hear, you're never going to do new things. You're always going to be stuck kind of copying other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the idea. And I don't know, I think I'm very overly critical of myself when I play, and that's something I'm trying to work on. Like after I play, I'll always go out, and if there's a few people I know in the crowd, I'll be like, how was that? Was it all right? Oh, I messed up this. Did you notice? And I always pick out the bad things. But yeah, I think it's just trying to change it and go, this is something I do because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And this is something that I'm all right at. So I just need to try and have a bit more confidence in what I'm doing and go, actually, no, I love this tune. I don't care if it doesn't go down very well. Like, I'm going to play it because I think it will work.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll scroll through tunes that I have, like, I want to be a bit daring or something. Like, I don't know, it'll have like some like grime vocals or something in it. And I'll be like, oh, no, I'm not going to play it. I'm too scared. And actually, you know what? Just play what you want. Like, I think it's hard as well when you're kind of starting out as well, and you're quite like a warm-up DJ, or you think it might affect you getting bookings if you play something that doesn't go down so well. So you're trying to play something that everyone likes. But yeah, at some point you have to craft your own sound and do it your own way. And I think I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
It's just taking a while to find that and get a bit more comfortable with myself when I'm DJing.
Yeah. well, you're doing you got to be doing something right, because you've got like the Voyage residency now, which is flipping awesome.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, there's some big, like, massive shows Voyage have been putting on.
Yeah, it's actually mad. I think, and it's really nice. And we've got like through Voyage and through Selextorhood, like a few kind of festival things coming up next summer, and there's a lot of stuff happening. And I think I always just convince myself that it's like right place, right time, or someone's just being nice or whatever. But actually, I need to try and believe that I'm all right. That people want to hear what I'm playing.
Oh man, it is like you're reading my mind here. It's so weird. It's like a therapy session or something. It's crazy.
Oh God, we're getting too deep, aren't we?
No, I know exactly what you mean though. Like, it's sort of like is it like imposter syndrome? Like, that's the sort of thing. I get it all the time, and it's so like kind of defeating. But sort of like just gotta have the confidence in yourself, right? Yeah. And then kind of not care in a way. Yeah, it's that confidence as well. And I think some DJs they just manage to go out there and they just have fun, and they do it and they enjoy it. And I want to be like that. I think I still spend so much time, like even before I played at that Voyage party that I saw you at, I was saying like, oh, I don't want to do it. I just want to go home. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to DJ? And it's hard. It's hard to push through that. It's really stressful, but it is imposter syndrome. You just feel like, why am I here? They're going to realise that I'm a terrible DJ. They're going to think, why do they ever book me? And it's hard. I get that in like my job and in my DJing, and I think I just need to try and be that bit more confident and go, no, there's a reason why people are booking you. And I always thought it would come, like the more bookings I got, or the more good feedback I got, I would take that in and listen to it. But no, it doesn't quite work like that. No, it's hard when it's in there in your mind.
Exactly.
I think it's like I swear you mentioned something earlier about it's something like it's just practice. Like, we're talking about mixing, I think maybe, and it's like something like that. It was about practice, but I think it's the same just mentally. You got to like keep practicing being confident, and eventually you'll just be confident.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, kind of like that, isn't it? Like, you just fake your confidence till you have it, and then you just maybe don't think about it so much.
Yeah, I think a really interesting like moment for me was when Rini came to do our Selextorhood talk.
Yeah,
and she was talking about kind of like mental health and DJing and looking after yourself, and like techniques that she uses because for like nerves and things as well. And she was talking about kind of using mindfulness and how much that's really helped her. And it was just really good. Not good, obviously. I'm not happy that she felt like that. I think it was nice to see that a really, really amazing, talented and successful DJ still has those feelings. Like you said, still has imposter syndrome, and like it's not just you, or it's not just because you're not very good or whatever. Like, a lot of people do feel like this, and I think it's not something that's talked about very often. And as well, I think the electronic music world is not a very healthy one. There's a lot of late nights, there's a lot of partying, there's a lot of drinking, and those things aren't conducive to like good mental health. They're just not. And it's something that you actually really have to look after yourself as you start playing out more, and as you start getting more gigs and even traveling a bit more, making sure that you give yourself time to look after your mental health, because I think that as well really links in with the confidence and a lack of confidence when playing. Then I'll maybe have a couple more beers than I should have done, and to try and get that fake confidence, when actually it's about doing the healthy things to look after yourself, like getting even stupid things like getting a bit of an exercise, like going for a bit of a run, or eating a proper meal before you go and play, and maybe taking 10 minutes out to do some mindfulness before you play as well. But yeah, I'm still trying to work on strategies to combat that.
Oh, please let me know some more if you have any.
Yeah, I think it'll take a little while.
I can't eat before a gig.
Really?
I can't do it. I'm like nervous, or I'm like, I have to have like, if I brush my teeth, maybe it's okay. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing.
You have like your little routines.
Yeah, if I don't have like a clean mouth, like I don't feel like ready. That's so weird. But just how I feel.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. I don't know where we're going with that. But it's like, I need to brush my teeth. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. That's such
I think
a weird routine. I wish
just
I'd never said that. Yeah.
No, if that's what works for you, then
guess so,
maybe someone else can try it and it might work for them.
Yeah. Do you have a bit of a routine?
I don't so much have a routine. I think I normally like stress out for the 6 hours beforehand, convince myself that I'm not going to do it, sit on my laptop for a few hours, going through all my tunes, going, all these tunes are terrible, why am I doing? But no, they're obviously fine. And then I get there, I normally have like a beer, this is so stupid, a beer and a half, which is such a waste because then I waste the other half of beer.
Oh, okay.
Like I have a beer and a half before I play, because any more and I get a bit too happy and I start to chop a bit too much and I just get a bit carried away, or any less and I'm kind of shaky and I can't concentrate. So I do that, and then I normally settle into it after about half an hour, 40 minutes. But obviously, if you're only playing an hour set, that's not very helpful.
I mean, that's something to be said just for generally hour sets, isn't it? Like that kind of, I think that's something across the board. Like, I think that's similar for everyone, I think, in a way.
Yeah, and I've played a couple of like 45-minute sets and stuff, and I just can't get into it. Like, I can't. I need like 2 hours really.
You know it's coming to the end, don't you? You're like, I've got to stop at 45. So
exactly.
Where do you go with this? Like,
I think it takes like half an hour to settle down, and then you can play like a good hour and a half, like proper set.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll just get used to routines and things and see what works.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's so many great tips. Like, it's so cool. It's one of the most DJ heavy tips on here. It's brilliant. I mean, you were featured in a Red Bull article as well.
So that was through Selextorhood.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. I think, again, it's been nice that Selextorhood has brought a bit more attention to like the gender inequality.
Yeah.
In the scene, especially in Birmingham. And I think, again, it was, we were with, I think there was Mixed Nights from Bristol, also touching it, and the Equaliser girls up in Leeds. And it's kind of nice just to know there's other people in other cities doing kind of similar things to you. And I mean, hopefully we'll maybe do some stuff with some of these collectives at some point, because I think it'd be nice to team up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, I think we were in like a Mixed Mag article and a Red Bull article. So yeah, it's been good. This is what I was saying about doing stuff in Birmingham. There's just that space for it, and luckily people can pick up on it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see in the past year if we've done all of this, what can we do in like another year or another 2 years, and where could that go?
Yeah. Very cool. It's also like I've cited that article in my research, which
Have
is
you?
funny. Yeah.
No, wait, what were you saying about it?
I can't remember which bit. I feel like I might have cited yourself.
My quote?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to have to go back and check, because I had so much research written down. I was like, right, this is only a small part of the research, and I was like, I'm going to fit it into this paper. But yeah, it's definitely cited in there. It's going to be on the next one as well.
Dissertation.
Yeah,
that is great.
It's crazy. Yeah.
That's my biggest accolade.
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe all the wicked gigs, but yeah, if you want that to be the top one, then I'm fine with that. Yeah. So what's coming up for you? What have you got in the future? So
yeah, I think with Selextorhood, it's going to be interesting to see where we're going. We've got a few like kind of collabs with brands coming up. We've got I think we're going to be starting. I don't know how much I can say. I don't know how much is like fair. Under wraps or not. Which that's pretty cool really anyway. Weird. Yeah. But yeah, like I said before, we've got maybe a couple festival gigs as well. Which is exciting. Very exciting. I've always wanted to play festivals. None abroad though. If anyone's putting on a festival abroad and they want to pay for me to come out and have a free festival, that would be amazing. But yeah, I think I'm just hopefully gonna, definitely carry on the radio show. I've got the Brum radio show, and we've got a nude show with Selextorhood that I host. So keep doing things with that. It's kind of, I enjoy it. It means I have to do like a radio show every 2 weeks, which is actually loads. I didn't realise like how much time it actually takes to do all of that and work full time. But yeah, so keeping with the radio show, I think we're going to start like a mix series for Selextorhood as well. And yeah, just stuff with like Voyage and Left Foot, and maybe try and branch out of Birmingham a bit. I think I might be playing in London. Cool. That'd be exciting. I've only ever played out of Birmingham once, so hopefully, get a few more chances to play different cities and open it up a bit. A lot of great clubs out there, a lot of great scenes. Yeah, there are. I think, it'll just be exciting. See what happens. Okay, that's very cool. We've said like so much advice on there, but what do you think the best piece of advice you give to a DJ, maybe starting out or anyone in general? Maybe people starting out, I think just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like, it's easy to look up to where people are and be like, I need to be that good, or I need to do all of those things that they do. And I think this is something that I'm quite guilty of, when actually you can just do your own thing. Like, if don't be scared, especially when you're starting out, of, I don't know, turning up to someone with a controller if you're not confident on CDJs or something. Like, just give it a go. The people, like we said earlier, people want to hear the music that you're playing. It doesn't always matter how good you're at mixing. That'll come later. And I think sometimes people can be a bit, I don't know if snobby's the right word, but like,
No, I think that's exactly right.
I think people can be a bit snobby about music, or about, I don't know, someone might use a sync button or something and they'll immediately be like, oh, you shouldn't be playing out, like you're not a proper DJ, whatever. And actually you can use the sync button for doing really interesting things, like moving the tempo of both tracks up and down at the same time. Like, I don't know, just try not to worry too much about what other people think. And this is a classic case of not taking my own advice, because this is exactly what I do. But that's my advice to people. Just do your own thing.
Great piece of advice. Yeah.
No, I need to take it.
You know, it's your set. Like, you do your thing. Don't worry what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
People usually complain, and they're probably the ones who aren't DJing. So don't listen to them. Yeah. And people who complaining, not everyone. Like,
I think as well, it's important to try and get yourself out there. It can feel quite intimidating. I think especially as a woman as well, I've really felt this. It can be hard to get sets. A lot of promoters kind of book their mates, and their mates are a lot of the time guys, because that's just their friendship group. So I think it can, again, feel a bit intimidating to put yourself out there and break into that, which is sometimes how you get like your first gigs. But just send your mixes out there. The worst someone can say to you is, no, I'm not interested. Like,
for sure.
Don't be embarrassed to just send out a mix and be like, hey, I'll put this together. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think, maybe I've been a bit too kind of quiet, and Selextorhood has given me that chance to put my name out there a bit. But without that, I don't think I would have ever got anywhere, because I wouldn't have asked for anything.
I think that's just that. I feel very similar. I have to really hype myself up to do stuff like that. I think that's like a general, like, such like a sales thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like salespeople are so good at that. Just like, it's what's an example of like cold calling, isn't it, or something? Like, self
promotion is so hard, especially if you don't really have that much confidence in yourself. Like, you enjoy it, but you don't really know if you're any good. To try and promote yourself when you don't believe in like your own ability is so difficult. So I think I still feel so cringe, like, asking people for, like, if I can play a set or something. I think the best thing that I've done really is just go to nights, get to know as many people as you can. It's not even networking, like, it's actually just like going out and meeting people and making friends and stuff. And then the opportunities you find more come to you rather than you having to ask. But just put your name out there as much as you can. And now I think, sorry, I'm just going on and on and on. I think with the radio shows as well, that's been quite good, because I was finding that it was kind of radio silence from me a lot of the time, because I've maybe had a mix or two up online, but nothing really. Like, how would people ever find out about me or my DJing? Whereas with radio, now I've got regularly, every month, once a month, something to put out, new content to put out. Yeah. And that's like my way to kind of promote myself through that, and I think that's really helped me as well. So any opportunities of mixes,
real focus on good. Like on you what you want to do. It's like a project and then it gives you something to focus on. That's wicked. Well, last little couple of questions. That's been so good. What would you think your favourite music moment was of last year, or I guess coming into this year now?
So, music moment as in kind of like the favourite sets maybe that I've seen. I think I saw Batu. I saw like Batu about 3 times last year, and he is insanely talented. I absolutely love his sets. I saw him at Deckmantle last summer, and he played like a 3-hour set. I think it was 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and I was stood like front and center the whole time, and I really needed the loo, and I couldn't leave because it was just like banger after banger. It was so good. So maybe Batu was sick. Also, DJ Storm played at Space Lab, and it like in the upstairs room at PST, and that was so good. Like, to see someone that like legendary playing in like quite a small room in Birmingham, and I had a chat to her afterwards, and she was so lovely. And I think that was just really nice. Because I don't normally listen to much drum and bass, especially, but that was just really lovely to hear something a bit different. And
I think it's great to experience it out as well. Experience different stuff out. I don't know, you feel a more connection with it. For me, I always feel like it just be a real connection.
And
with
I think sometimes I'll listen to music at home and through my laptop speakers or something, and it just sounds like pretty weird or dull, like I listen to. So there's this, I don't know if you've heard of them. Have you heard of the Empire line?
No.
So they make horrendous techno, like horrible sounds, but playing it off my laptop speakers, I remember listening to it and just being like slightly terrified that why would these people make this kind of noise? And then I was at Griesmüller in Berlin, and we saw the Empire line at like 9 a.m. in the morning after we'd been out all night, and I was pretty scared. I was like, I'm either going to hate this and go home after 5 minutes or absolutely love it. It was brilliant. There's like this guy, he just like screams over the top of it, and it was like there was no beat for the first 20 minutes. It was just noise, and I think you can only appreciate that out.
Yeah.
You can't get that at home. Like, it was just the whole experience more than just the music was insane. I felt like I was in the Matrix or something. It was crazy.
What moment? Well, it's really cool.
It was mad.
And what about yourself? What's been your favourite thing with you in DJing and music?
With me?
Yeah. You got to talk about yourself. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You just see me cringe every time you ask me a question about myself. I think just my radio shows more than anything. Yeah. It's been so lovely to get people into the studio and to kind of play with people, like to play with Andy from Circular Jaw Wordner.
Yeah.
To play.
Oh, he's a cool guy, man.
Yeah, exactly. To play with like Cheste, to play with Christian. It's just great because these are all people that I've kind of been watching in Birmingham for a long time doing really, really exciting things. And actually for them to come down and be on like my radio show and for me just to be able to chat to them and chill with them is really, really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think I'm quite excited about where that might go. I've got big dreams with who I might get on my radio show, and we'll see if it ever gets there. But yeah, it's kind of nice to have that like ongoing project, I guess, and it keeps me up to date with stuff, and it just it's like my passion project really more than anything.
Well, it's going well. It's a great show. I've said that like 10 times now. But
yeah, if we had to go for my my favourite like DJing moment of the year, I think it would be playing Space Lab, because I was on the same lineup as Ben UFO and DJ Storm. Like Ben UFO, DJ Storm, Nikki Tesla. I was like, what is this?
Wait, that was the night before the Imogen talk, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why I was so hungover the next day.
Yeah.
I was not feeling okay. I think I was still wearing the same clothes as the night before. I turned up.
I'm pretty sure you were wearing a Space Lab top.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was like, I need to see Imogen. I had to drag my friend along as well. And she was sat at the back. She couldn't even stand up at the talk. She was like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Well, I'm glad I went though.
Amazing. What do you have a most embarrassing moment for last year?
So, I mean, it's not so much embarrassing. I'm half proud that I did this, but also slightly embarrassed. So, when I was at Deckmantle last year, on the last day, we saw Carissa play on the main stage.
Cool.
And it was amazing. I'd never even listened to Carissa before. Like, I just hadn't really thought it was my thing. But we went along. It was like sunny in the day, so it was nice to be outside. And she played the most amazing set, and her mum was there the whole time. Like,
I watched this set. I've seen this set. It's on Boiler Room, right?
Yeah. No, it's not Boiler Room. It was, but they recorded the set, and there's like videos of it all over. Her mum was there like cheering and everything. And at the end, it was the last day of Deckmantle anyway, so it'd been like a very big weekend, and I was feeling a bit emotionally unstable anyway. And then she went over during her last song and hugged her mum. I just burst into tears. I was just crying. And for the next 10 minutes, I was just walking around like, that was so beautiful. So yeah, that's hopefully the first and last time I ever cry at a set. But it was really quite special. So we'll go with that.
Yeah, there's not too much to be embarrassed about there. I think that's a great moment.
Crying in the middle of a festival.
Captured some emotion in the festival.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, I guess music is quite emotional a lot of the time. And I think I never thought that kind of like house especially and a bit of techno and a bit of bass, but mostly house. I haven't listened to that kind of music for quite a long time. Normally now I listen to like techno and bass, electro, like quite heavy, hard music.
Yeah.
But it was really nice. It did feel like joyful and just like a party. Eristra and Octave Octa as well at Deckmantle on the same stage as well. just so joyful and just brilliant. And
such a cool set that was.
It was so good, and just to have like that emotion. I swear, all of my favourite sets, Batu as well was at Deck Mantle. They've all been at Deck Mantle, and I think it's just really a nice environment just to get everyone together, and everyone is just having the time of their life, and everyone loves the music, and to be surrounded by that is quite special.
Oh man, that's what a great way to end this podcast. Oh man, thank you so much for coming on.
No,
it's been
thanks
great.
for having me.
What a talk. You got me kind of nervous in a lot of ways. You've been like saying things that's like, oh my God, I feel the exact same way. I'm like, oh, it's making me think about myself. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I feel like we got quite deep in the middle there.
Yeah, wow. That's so good. Oh, thanks so much. And I look forward to you playing at the party, which you would have already played at.
Which has already happened.
Happened.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I'm gassed to play. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Oh, wicked. Thank you. Ciao.
Oh, thank you very much, Nikki. That was such an awesome podcast. We got to talk about some great stuff in there, and I think we share a lot of the same insecurities, so it was nice to be able to address that in a chat like that. And she had so much brilliant advice, and I can't thank her for being so open with us about her journey.
And as always, I please, if you could, go to wherever you listen to your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you're listening. If you could rate 5 stars and drop a little comment, I'd love it, and I really, really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who's listening, and until next time, goodbye.